Okay. Awakening Dosa. Super easy, super good, borderline broken, but we don't talk about that. Class. Uh, if you're playing this class, you're gonna win. That's basically it. In PvE, you're just gonna be better. I'm sorry, it's true. This class is broken. It's just how it is. Anyways, into the combo, shall we? Or actually, for that, general tips and tricks and general overview of the class. Awakening Dosa. When I first started playing Awakening Dosa, it was pretty confusing. I couldn't really understand it because my brain was the size of a pea, and I'm just overall a bit fucking stupid. But this class is really easy. Um, when you are starting off, I would recommend simply going down the list and repeating for PvE, which basically means you do shift right mouse, hold right mouse into S right mouse for fire, shift F, hold F for wood, shift E, hold E, skip SE for water, shift LMB, hold LMB, hold LMB for metal, and then shift Q, skip SQ, and then repeat at the top. The reason I say you skip water current, or SE and SQ, is because of two things. One, water current is good for repositioning. It's good for changing where you are, but it's not good for damage at all. The damage sucks. And same thing with Earth Reap. It doesn't move you, but the damage sucks. It might look good on paper. It's not. It's so bad. I hate this skill. It takes forever to come out and actually cast, and the damage is pitiful. Don't use this skill. It's just that easy. The reason I recommend you go in order for a beginner and you repeat up to the top is because of this. The main reason why people play Awakening Dosa are the buffs, which are these. Basically, let me turn my effect opacity up so you can see it easier. When you cast a skill, it's going to leave a elemental circle on the ground. And then it says here, when there are enemies near an elemental circle, using the corresponding elemental skill will apply the generative effect within the circle. And it's a attack damage, accuracy rate plus, all DP minus, all evasion rate minus. So what that means is, let's say this guy right here, you activate Shift+LMB. Shift+LMB. There is now a elemental circle on the ground, and a metal, which is what you activated, and then a little rotating earth symbol. What that is basically telling you is after activating metal, you want to activate earth next. Because if you look at the drill sergeant, metal into earth, he now has the DP, evasion, and move speed decrease. And as you can see, it changed from metal to earth. So now you want to do fire into wood into water. And then back up into metal, and so on and so forth. That's basically the whole thing. All you're doing is playing a matching game. It's so dumb. You are casting a skill, and then you are matching this color, or the element, to the one rotating, which in this case is wood. So you would activate wood. And then since you activated wood, you go into water, water into metal, and then metal into earth. And finally earth into fire. That's all you do. Voila! Congratulations, welcome to Dosa. It's so dumb. But another reason, besides that, the DP evasion and whatever decrease that you get for the elemental circles, you also gain bonuses, such as fire into wood. You gain 5% all special attack damage bonus. Earth into fire, you gain. Wait, is it Earth into fire? Yeah, sorry. Earth into fire, you gain 2,000 maximum HP to you and allies for 10 seconds. That is a ridiculous buff. That is such a powerful buff for such an easy combo. All you do, Shift+Q, shift right mouse. Congrats, 2,000 HP. What the hell? Who thought that was a good idea? Because whoever it was, thank you, first of all. Anyways, next, it would be metal into earth for all resistance ignore plus 10%, water into metal for damage reduction plus 10%, and wood into water for recover 500 HP. That is basically it for a beginner, like what a beginner should know for Awakening Dosa. All you do is go down the list, which I'm going to show you what it looks like right now. That's all you do. You go down the list all the way up until you reach fire again. And when you're doing that, you're completing the matching puzzle and you're getting the buffs. Congratulations, you now know how to play Dosa at a beginner level. And that combo could honestly carry you from the start of the game to the end of the game. It doesn't matter. But there's a lot of little tips and tricks that you can do and that you should know. As you can see, my combo is a bit different. I don't start with fire. Instead, I start with metal. This is just a personal preference because if I start with metal, go into earth, and then go into fire, the buffs I get are different. Since I started with metal, go into earth, I'm going to gain the resistance ignore plus 10%. Then earth into fire, I gain the 2,000 max HP. So immediately at the start of any pack of monsters, I gain 10% resistance ignore and 2,000 max HP. Just immediately. It's super nice to have super early. And that's one of the big reasons why I personally deviated from just the going down the list combo, because it would take forever to get the initial 2,000 HP. And since it's such an amazing buff, the sooner I got it, the better. But also, the reason why I start with metal is because of my add-ons, which I'm talking about right now. So, a lot of people have, instead of winged kick here, they probably have like nail down or enlightened haze, or might even have sundering sweep. The reason I personally prefer winged kick over especially nail down is two reasons. One, nail down is just a lot harder to use as an initiating skill compared to nail down. Or sorry, winged kick. Because winged kick, you can just like look at the ground, W+RMB, voila, you go forward and hit the enemy, and you gain the 3 buffs. Congratulations. But nail down, you actually need to be, while it does have crazy initiating range, so like him right there, see how my crosshair is highlighted red? If I press E, voila, I'm right next to him now. That is insane initiating range. And that's why a lot of people use it as an initiating skill and a initiating pre-buff. But that's also the reason why I don't like it, personally, because it's very gimmicky. You need to be directly looking at the target. So if you're slightly off like this, like I'm looking at the target, but I'm not. So if I press it, I will go there because I'm looking at the ground. But like if I look over there and press E, I'm just gonna barely move. It's very situational. I'm not the biggest fan of nail down as an initiating skill, but there's another reason, which is a big one because metal here, why I use winged kick over nail down. And this is where I'll talk into the little gimmicks about Dosa's metal and fire skills. So, how I was talking about how you should just go down the list and go like from left to right. Doing so, you would encounter, you start with Shift+RMB, you would hold for the flow, and then you'd go into S+RMB. And then for here, you would start with Shift+LMB, hold LMB, hold LMB. That's good and all. However, it's slower. Significantly slower than this, or this, which is S+LMB into Shift+LMB, hold LMB, and then S+RMB into Shift+RMB, hold RMB. Let me show you an example of fire, or RMB. So if you did Shift+RMB, watch Dosa himself. As you probably saw, he kind of like lifted his arm, charged it, and then fired it out. That's super fucking slow. It's really annoying, in my personal opinion, when playing, like, or when grinding. Because it takes forever for him to charge it. Whereas, let me wait for the cooldown, if you start with S+RMB, there is no charge. It's just immediate. It's super quick. S+RMB, it's immediately at the enemy. And, a little bonus, if you do S+RMB into Shift+RMB, it gets rid of the charge. Let me show you. S+RMB, Shift+RMB. No charge at all. It skips the charge, and your first fire skill came out way faster, which is really good to know, as it increases your DPS and just overall damage. And your time to, like, cycle through your combo. And then the kind of one of the final gimmicks with his skills is S+LMB. In the skill card, it says S+LMB to activate the skill, and also LMB after metal alloy, which is a flow after Shift+LMB. So basically, Shift+LMB, LMB, LMB. That's basically it. It doesn't say, however, actually before that, S+LMB. As you saw, he kind of like swung his arms and two spikes came out of the ground, and then the big metal ball kind of fell and collided with the ground. That is slow and cumbersome and very annoying, and I hate it. And again, in the skill card, it says you can use it after metal alloy or by S+LMB, or it can also be in a quick slot, but don't put any of these skills in a quick slot. That's stupid. Don't do that. Instead, you can do any directional movement, which is WASD and Shift, or W right mouse, as you know is my initiating skill, which gives you the pre-buffs, into S+LMB. Watch what happens. It just skips the first two attacks, the two spikes that come out of the ground. So, it comes out of the ground way, way quicker. That's basically it. You can use, yeah, the skill can come out after W+RMB. It can come, or it can come out faster after any of the directional movements, which again is WASD or Shift. It cannot, however, this is important, it cannot come out quicker after WF or Shift+Space. Any of those, let me show you, WF, WF, S+LMB. I lied. Sorry. You can, but there's a little caveat. The first instance of WF, you cannot. You can. The first instance of WF, you cannot do it. For example, WF, S+LMB. As you saw, 2 spikes, then the metal. But WF, WF, skill isn't off cooldown. Jesus Christ, give me a second. WF, WF, S+LMB skips the 2 spikes. Again, good to know. That's basically it for little caveats, little gimmicks, things you should know or need to know about Dosa, like general overview. I'm actually going to talk about his buffs that are not from like the actual like this. There's like a couple of them, and also his protections and movement now before I get into the combo. So, the buffs. My personal least favorite buff out of these from the elements is by far fire into wood, because it gives the plus 5% all special attack damage. That's good. If winged kick didn't exist, because not only does a winged kick require 1 instance of W+RMB to hit an enemy. Actually, it doesn't even need to hit an enemy. Just watch right here. W+RMB, boom. There's the plus 5%. It doesn't even need to hit an enemy to get the buff. It's practically immediate, and you don't need to hit an enemy at all to get the buff. Whereas, if you get it from this, you need to do wood into fire just to get the 5%. I hate it. It's so annoying. I wish they would change it. So that's kind of like whatever. Another little nice buff is with WF. You gain plus 20 DP. Again, does not need to hit an enemy to get the buff, and I'm pretty sure only the first instance actually procs a buff. So first instance, second, yeah. Only the first instance procs the 10 DP buff, or the plus 20 DP buff. So, that's what you should know about the kind of like little special buffs that you can get. Core, I would recommend taking Metal Temper in either Metal Temper or Fire Blaze. Don't take any of these. These are not good in PvE. They're just not. Don't take them. You're taking these. I prefer Metal Temper, again, because I start with metal, but also because if you are just going down the list and you're not doing my combo, which is fine, and you take Metal Temper core skill, this is what's going to happen in terms of protections. Unprotected, unprotected, protected for the first half of the skill, second half is unprotected, fully protected super armor, fully protected forward guard, fully protected super armor and forward guard, fully protected forward guard, fully protected super armor, fully protected with this forward guard, fully protected forward guard, fully protected forward guard, fully protected super armor, fully protected forward guard. That is ridiculous. It is crazy. Every single one of his main damaging skills has some sort of protection, excluding your first 2, if you were to do this combo. For me, however, it's kind of in the middle. It's a little gimmicky, but at my kind of honestly pitiful gear score, at some grind spots, I only really ever use metal, earth, and fire anyways, so I start fully protected and I end unprotected. Who cares? Let me show you the protections real quick. By the way, they're gonna be like right here. As you can see, the blue shield, that's the protection. as you saw, every single skill except for the end of this one and the entirety of this one is fully protected. Also, the little transition between these two skills isn't protected, but it's such a small time frame it doesn't really mean anything. What next? Probably movement next. Yeah, definitely movement next. Okay, movement is really easy and super consistent, and in my opinion, kind of ridiculous. Um, I'm not gonna explain it because it's kind of hard to talk about it or like say it. Well, I'm gonna explain it, but I'm not gonna like say it and do it at the same time because it's hard to do that. If you want to see, just look up here. I have my keys there. But basically, WF, WF, LMB, W+RMB, LMB, Shift+Directional LMB, WF, WF, LMB, Shift+Directional LMB, W+RMB, LMB. The reason I say LMB is because of the velum slash blow, which basically means after pressing LMB after any movement skill lunges you forward a little bit more. Let me show you. This is WF, both instances by itself. I kind of made it to the tree, right? Like that's pretty good distance. But if I press LMB after both instances, there's a final third lunge, which gives you a lot more movement. So, let me show you a full kind of movement combo. I'm not gonna talk during it because it's hard to, but just watch. Voila, that's it. All you're doing is using these three skills off cooldown, and after every single one, you're pressing L and B. That is the entire move speed, or that is the entire movement combo. Now, obviously, you don't need to do both instances of WF. You can just do one and then LMB. If you do WF, LMB, WF, it's not going to do WF again. It's just going to press, or it's going to be your wooden skill, which is F. So don't do that. But that's basically about the grounded movement. Now, we have other skills, which is Skystomp, Nail Down, which I talked about earlier as initiator, and Shift+Space, which is Stratus Shift? Yeah. Nope. Cloud Step. It's Cloud Step. What Skystomp is in here. Skystomp. Space after any skills. And also heals you when you use it. So, just space. Voila. You're in the air, you are invincible to any and all attacks for, I think, 4 seconds? Or something. If you press anything during it, you'll get kicked out. But space. That's it. Now, Shift+Space while on the ground. You're like a yellow tiger, right? And you like kind of go forward, go up, and then you go back down. Pretty cool. However, if you're in Skystomp and then do Shift+Space, not only do you go a lot higher, but you also go further. It's not by like significant margin, but you do go further. It actually might not be noticeable at all. It might not go get you further. It feels like it throws you further, especially because you're so much higher. So I just say it goes further. But basically, that fire Shift+Space is only possible if you're in the sky or if you're in the air at all. You could do it via Skystomp, which is the easiest way, but you could also like jump and then just spam space and I'll do the same thing. I wouldn't really do that because it's kind of jank and it's really finicky sometimes. But and then nail down again has super long distance. You have your crosshair has to line up or has to be on something for you to actually go there. As you can see, you will end up there immediately. That's basically it for movement and everything else. Now, finally, we can get into my main combo. So, with the add-ons, these again, this is what you're going to be doing. You're going to be doing W+RMB for initiating packs and your extra AP against monsters, attack casting speed, and all special attack damage buffs into S+LMB for back attack critical hit damage, into Shift+LMB, hold LMB for a critical hit rate buff and DP reduction, into Shift+Q, which will activate your ignore all resistance plus 10%, into S+RMB for movement speed plus 10, all DP minus 20, into Shift+RMB, hold RMB for extra AP against monsters, attack casting speed. This will also activate the plus 2000 max HP. And from there you go into Shift+F, hold F for, again, more back attack and critical hit damage. And that will also activate the all special attack damage, which at this point should have ran out from a winged kick. So, you know, it's good that it's there. I still think it's stupid, but whatever. And from wood, you go into Shift+E, hold E for the damage reduction bonus. And then from there, you go back into S+LMB. Actually, after you hold E, or the Shift+E flow, you have two options. Usually what I do is I do W+RMB again for the 3 buffs, and then I go back into S+LMB, Shift+LMB, LMB, repeat. But you could also just skip that and go into S+LMB, Shift+LMB, LMB, and just don't do wing kick again. I don't like doing that, but again, up to you. Let me show you what that looks like in practice. Again, not gonna be talking. It's hard to talk and play at the same time for me, or like explain what I'm doing at the same time. So that was the combo without doing the second instance of, or the second hit of whatever, winged kick. But again, entirely up to you. You can do winged kick after your first rotation. You can't. Entirely up to you. Your class, your character, you go for it, man. You'll enjoy the class. Shut up and enjoy it. Let me think. Is there anything else major? Thanks, Crickets. You're helping a lot. There's one more thing. It's kind of for burst DPS. And I don't really do it a lot, but it is something you can do. It involves these 3 skills right here. Now, I talk about the flow a lot because it has really good damage. It's 5,403 times 2 just for holding E. It's a lot of damage. It's really good. However, there's a little thing you can do, which is press F, Shift+E into Shift+F without doing the flow, which looks like this. I might be asking, well, why would I do that? It's because it comes out excruciatingly fast if you have any type of attack casting speed buff. It comes out so insanely fast, it's kind of scary. But if you do F, Shift E, hold E into Shift F, it comes out a lot slower. You do more damage, but it comes out slower. And I think that's basically it for Awakening Dosa. You're never going to be using these, so it doesn't matter. I actually prefer having Dual Slash instead of Fogfall, and I prefer Moonlit Haze instead of Reverse Blade Blitz. But again, doesn't matter. Not going to be using it. Who cares? What else? Oh, you can actually use your Wind Shear, which is your counter in Awakening. It's kind of useless. It's cool, but whatever. You can just hold Q for like a kind of forever forward guard, kind of. But just hold S, and that also works. Now, I think that's actually it for Awakening Dosa. Yeah. That's basically it. Super fun class, super interesting class. Kind of hard to get into. Well, it's not really, but it's super easy. I don't talk about this class buff. It gives you good buffs, and it's a good class buff. Use it when it's off cooldown. Congrats. Who cares? Sundering Sweep is a good filler skill. This is just auto attacks. Reason you don't use these two is because the damage is pitiful, but you can use them for filler damage or use this for repositioning. Who cares? That's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. If you want me to create a succession video, let me know. I'll gladly do that. Right, there's one more thing. There's one more thing that I need to showcase before I actually end the video. And that is Dosa's combos with his Z buff or a lot of attack speed, because it does change. It's not going to be the same thing. So I'll show you basically what it's going to be. Is it's going to be the same thing at the start, but once you repeat, your Shift+LMB and Shift+Q are going to be on cooldown still. So what you do is you skip the two skills, go into S+Q, and then you go back into Shift+LMB, Shift+Q, repeat. Super easy. I know I said don't use a skill, but use that as filler. Who cares? And if you have a lot of attack speed, really, I would just recommend just going down the list anyways. And I'll show what that looks like. And that's that. That is the entire combo with a lot of attack speed. This was with the Z buff, which is your Sundering Sweep if you have it unlocked. And I'm sure it would be the same with Shy, but Shy's a terrorist, so typical. That's besides the point. Yeah, that's actually it. Um, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. I should be able to answer them.